we gon' die every day. Swear we gon' die every day. They said Jesus gon' save us. Well, I know we die if we wait. I know we die if he can't. They tell us we black, but we ain't. Aboriginal, native, yeah, we gon' die every day. Cause we don't know where we came. We been here, lived here, open borders, got deported, fought for rights. Kidnapped, bitch slapped, blacked out, covered up, washed white. Drugged up, slugged up, beat bread, left for dead, fuck your life. It's all a plan, kill your man, take your land, slave your kids, rape your wife.
Yeah, you listening to Super Blaze, that's dope. DJ Super Blaze.
Swear we gon' die every day. They said Jesus gon' save us. Well, I know we die if we wait. I know we die if he can't. They tell us we black, but we ain't. Aboriginal, native, yeah, we gon' die every day. Cause we don't know where we came. We been here, lived here, open borders, got deported, fought for rights. Kidnapped, bitch slapped, blacked out, covered up, washed white. Drugged up, slugged up, beat bread, left for dead, fuck your life. It's all a plan, kill your man, take your land, slave your kids, rape your wife. Why y'all look so mad if all this shit I say is true? Why y'all look so mad if all this shit happened to you? White man quick to tell you was a slave, nothing before. But he himself only been free since 1840. Young recording, I'm an ancient Egyptian from Atlantis, head straight for Canada, that's Israel. Nothing fake about me, no capping rapping, I just fed the ink and I'm digital. No caveman, I'm original. Kentucky fried, extra crispy, wear a lot of gold cause my family history. I'm the guy to know, I bring death to history. But we gon' die every day. They said Jesus gon' save us. Well, I know we die if we wait. I know we die if he can't. They tell us we black, but we ain't. Aboriginal, native, yeah, we gon' die every day. Cause we don't know where we came. Swear we gon' die every day. They said Jesus gon' save us. Well, I know we die if we wait. I know we die if he can't. They tell us we black, but we ain't. Aboriginal, native, yeah, we gon' die every day. Cause we don't know where we came. Power, only respect power. Respect power. What's been said can't be said no louder. Stand for something, or you die a coward. They bombed our church and set our kids on fire. Police keep erasing cause they backed up by the nation. Nation ain't complaining cause them Indians still hanging. Comanche, Sioux, Apache, ain't no history in blackness. No reason for that chatting if you bitch up when it's action. AR on my body, tell the bro to grab the shot and loading up that new edition. Finna hit him with this bobby. I can't shoot the shit, but 30 it's 54 races.
Check.
Anytime in prison, they don't
no check, just straight cash, bitcoins, money. You know what it is.
Snitches get the stick, talking all that hatred in the
Super Blaze inside the campaign mix, man. The continuance be on YouTube live now.
Swear we gon' die every day.
We had the first little quarter, little halftime situation.
They tell us we black, but we ain't.
On Mixcloud, you know what I mean? You know what it is.
Yeah, we gon' die.
A little different situation on Mixcloud. We can get it in over there a little different. You know what I mean?
They said Jesus gon' save us. Well, I know we die if we wait. I know we die if he can't.
Shout to Trey Ali and
we black, but we ain't.
Aboriginal, Turtle Island, you know what it is, man.
We gon' die every day, cause we don't know where we came.
The power only respects power. You know what it is, man. That's very powerful words right there. You know what, man? Welcome. Let me log on and see who's in the chat, man. My camera just on some wild out. Shout to Love on Purpose. You know what it is, man. What up? Ra the Prince. You know what I mean? Shout to Miss Sherry. You know what it is, man. Yeah, we here, man. Live inside the mix on YouTube real quick. You know what I mean? Campaign mix. Let's get it in real quick, all right? I'll turn this camera off right here. It's a little shaky, so we here. Peace. Let's go.
Feeling like a siren. I don't need no driver license. Just the beauty like a license. Let the ride or die and steal the show. You know they try to drown me in Amity, but I'm alive, they can't bury me. Now I'm wealthy and scholarly. Walk on the sea like I'm JC. Now I'm doing bigger, better. I'm changing hemispheres. Never meditation clears the mind. Keep it so clear. Don't you let them use you. Keep your weapon near. Celebration is the only way out.
Yes, Ascension. You know what it is, Black Jagger.
You gotta be tired of dying and burying people out. Yeah.
I'll play it one more time from the top. Hold up. Gotta get it right, man, for real. It's that Black Jagger Ascension. Make sure you go get that real quick. in the iTunes store.
Feeling like I'm sorry. I don't need no driver's license. No. Just a beauty like a license.
It's motivation for our people right here. Listen carefully. Come on, some words right here.
You know they tried to drown me in Amity, but I'm alive, they can't bury me. Now I'm wealthy and scholarly. Walk on the sea like I'm JC. Now I'm doing bigger, better. I'm changing atmospheres, levitating. The meditation clears the mind. Keep it so clear. Don't you let them use you. Keep your weapon near. Celebration is the only way out here. You gotta be tired of dying and burying people out here. I know it's hard cause they shoot first. They pull up, yeah, they click clack, they do dirt. They go home, then they'll get back. But they can't bother me, nah. Cause I'm not property. This is essential. Yeah, this the mission, yeah. To be free and clear. Living off the land, feel like a trillionaire. This the mission. I ain't gotta care. Living on my dream and killing all the nightmares, yeah.
DJ Super Blaze is in the mix.
Bang, bang, bang.
This is the mission, yeah. To be free and clear. Living off the land, feel like a trillionaire. This the mission. I ain't gotta care. Living on my dream and killing. Every day I wake, I make my mind up. I'ma be the one, be the truth, be the way. Yeah. Every day I wake, I make my mind up. Gotta keep my mind on the. Because they only telling their side of the story. Out here telling lies like they on Morid. And poor rich kids get their money on phone it. But down here in the hood, yeah, we know Forex. We growing up, yeah, we got the goods. Good on them assets, good on my back. Get rid of cash before the whole market crash. A news flash, just a blast from the past. We gonna smash it, be prepared to hit the gas. Yeah.
Build a land, get the wealth, change your name up. Get the title in your hands, switch the game up. Melanesian, elevation, arise. We divide, blood eye, and we travel.
Try.
Blood eye, and we travel.
Woo. That's my child. Woo.
Blood eye, and we travel. Hey, hit him with the higher. Sherry no haka from Virginia.
I know I'm more because I'm less. I know I'm more. I passed the test. We got to see with the true eyes. We need some brand new bright ideas. We got the hearts and some great minds, yeah. If we could all just be sincere.
Build a land, get the wealth, change your name up. Get the title in your hands, switch your game up. Melanesian, elevation, arise. We divide, blood eye, and we travel.
Try.
Blood eye, and we travel.
Just my child.
Blood eye, and we travel. Build a land, get the wealth, change your name up. Get the title in your hands, switch the game up. Melanesian, elevation, arise. We divide, blood eye, and we.
DJ Super Blaze is in the mix.
Every day I wake, I make my mind up. I'ma be the one, be the truth, be the way. Yeah. Every day I wake, I make my mind up. Gotta keep my mind on the. Because they only telling their side of the story. Out here telling lies like they on Morid. And poor rich kids get their money on phone it. But down here in the hood, yeah, we know Forex. We growing up, yeah, we got the goods.
Good on them assets, good on my back. Get rid of cash before the whole market crash. A news flash, just a blast from the past. We gonna smash it, be prepared to hit the gas. Yeah. Build a land, get the wealth, change your name up, get the title in your hands, switch the game up. Melanesian, elevation, arise, we divide, blood eye, and we travel. Drive! Blood eye, and we travel. Woo! That's my drive! Woo! Blood eye, and we travel. Hey, hey, hit him with the higher. Yeah. Stereo, I got from Virginia. Yeah. I know I'm more because I'm less. I know I'm more. I passed the test. We got to see with the true eyes. We need some brand new bright ideas. We got the hearts and some great minds, yeah. If we could all just be sincere. Build a land, get the wealth, change your name up, get the title in your hands, switch the game up. Melanesian, elevation, arise, we divide, blood eye, and we travel. Drive! Blood eye, and we travel. Woo! That's my child. Woo! Blood eye, and we travel. Build a land, get the wealth, change your name up, get the title in your hands, switch the game up. Melanesian, elevation, arise, we divide, blood eye, and we travel. Hey, hey, hit him with the higher, yeah.
DJ Super Blaze is in the mix.
Sometimes it make your mind dissolve, trying to solve something not meant for you to solve. You got to search for inner peace. Inner peace. Sometimes you got too much involved, trying to solve personal problems you should solve. You got to search for inner peace. Inner peace. Check me out. To free my mind, I leave my house and hit the intercoastal. Sitting right in my backyard, this shit is really local. It's like my problems run away when I sit by the water. Meditating, sitting still, I become the water. Jump off the cliff of life, release my parachute. The problems, everything's alright. At least that's what I tell myself until it hit the night. The spirit synchronized with my blood, I'm taking flight. My mind consumed. The devil said he moving in, but I ain't got no room. He wanna break me down and tell me up what I assume. But I just keep on grinding up to my top chakra. Feeling like a Buddhist on a mountain, sitting proper, traveling God, moving through the cosmos, space and time. But all I really know, I'm at my zenith, familiar with my inner peace because I seen it. Sometimes it make your mind dissolve, trying to solve something not meant for you to solve. You got to search for inner peace. What? Inner peace. Sometimes you got too much involved, trying to solve personal problems you should solve. You got to search for inner peace. Inner peace. Bonquisha had a baby, but that baby didn't make it. Feeling like she's all alone and can't no one related. She permed her hair, put in some weave and made her nails long. Aspirations of stripping and making millions. Packed it up, left her mom, moved to South Beach, hoping she could make a living off monogamy. But things changed when she met a G. She fell in love with the dream he sold and everything.
You already know what it is. Tap in with
us. Cuban links in the real estate. Top of the hour, hoping he would take her to a realer place. She lost in the facade. Things ain't what they seem.
Trying to everybody in the chat. You already know what your boy Mac H to be in the
she got no
right
money, got no job, and nowhere to go. She ran back to her mama's house and broke down on the floor.
We need you to get some peace out there. You know, we don't disrupt some stuff tonight. So we're gonna sit before you get disrupted by anything you might not have heard before. See, look, it's the screen shaking as I'm saying it. It's trembling, you heard? Get your peace in your life, you know what I mean? Sounding to you. PSB, what up? You can go get this bad boy right here, this song on iTunes. Do the campaign forever. Shout out to my man Trey Sincetta. I said it like my own way, Trey Sincetta. You heard? Let go.
Make your mind dissolve, trying to solve something not meant for you to solve. You got to search for inner peace. Inner peace. Sometimes you got too much involved, trying to solve personal problems you should solve. You got to search for inner peace. Inner peace. Check me out. To free my mind, I leave my house in Hiti in the coastal. Sitting right in my backyard, this shit is really local. It's like my problems run away when I sit by the water. Meditating, sitting still, I become the water. Jump off the cliff of life, release my parachute of problems, everything's alright. At least that's what I tell myself until it hit the night. The spirit synchronized with my blood, I'm taking flight. My mind consumed. The devil said he moving in, but I ain't got no room. He wanna break me down and tell me up what I assume, but I just keep on grinding up to my top chakra. Feeling like a Buddhist on the mountain, sitting proper, traveling God, moving through the cosmos, space and time. But all I really know, I'm at my zenith, familiar with my inner peace because I seen it. Sometimes it make your mind dissolve, trying to solve something not meant for you to solve. You got to search for inner peace. What? Inner peace. Sometimes you got too much involved, trying to solve personal problems you should solve. You got to search for inner peace.
Inner peace. You gotta search for it, man.
Inner peace.
All right, 2 more to go. Let's go.
Bonquisha had a baby, but that baby didn't make it. Feeling like she's all alone and can't no one related. She permed her hair, put in some weave and made her nails long. Aspirations of stripping and making millions. Packed it up, left her mom, moved to South Beach, hoping she could make a living off monogamy. But things changed when she met a G. She fell in love with the dream he sold and everything she see. The big cars, Cuban links, and the real estate. Hoping he would take her to a realer place. She lost in the facade, things ain't what they seem. He left her for a girl that had some bigger dreams. She got no money, got no job, and nowhere to go. She ran back to her mama's house and broke down on the floor. Her mama told her, you stuck in the belly of the beast. You need to search for inner peace. Sometimes you got too much involved, trying to solve something not meant for you to solve. You got to search for inner peace. Inner peace. Sometimes you make your mind dissolve, trying to solve personal problems you should solve. You got to search for inner peace. Inner peace.
Pardon my autonomy. I know one day they'll honor me. This ain't pertaining to 28 Deuteronomy. Self-determination, controlling our situation. Ain't no more indoctrination from pale faces.
Fire! Yeah, you listen to Super Blaze. Let's go. Bang, bang, bang.
This could take quite a bit of time.
Pardon my autonomy. I know one day they'll honor me. This ain't pertaining to 28 Deuteronomy. Self-determination, controlling our situation. Ain't no more indoctrination from pale faces. How the fuck you bummy and broke but a pair of races? My lineage for people of color with a left make each nigga. This right here maroon, now it ain't burgundy. If you plotting murder, I'm certain that you'll need surgery. Hurt from when the burner squeeze. Protecting tribe business. Only consulting with governments tried to tribe with it. Please don't confuse us with those considered native. Semi-autonomy never was in our nature. Just address me as Estelusti. Wild Indian status and Cherokees riding Ruchis. In my war bonnet, if you want it, bring it to your region. And black force, same color than European. Pardon my autonomy. I know one day they'll honor me. This ain't pertaining to 28 Deuteronomy. Self-determination, controlling our situation. Ain't no more indoctrination from pale faces.
Aborigines, which means what? Black folks. But you never find a white aborigine. Aborigines are called natives, or they're always dark-skinned people. You and I are aborigines.
This could take quite a bit of time.
Pardon my autonomy. I know one day they'll honor me. This ain't pertaining to 28 Deuteronomy. Self-determination, controlling our situation. Ain't no more indoctrination from pale faces. How the fuck you bummy and broke but a pair of races? My lineage for people of color with a left make each nigga. This right here maroon, now it ain't burgundy. If you plot murder, I'm certain that you'll need surgery. Hurt from when the burner squeeze. Protecting tribe business. Only consulting with governments, tried to tribe with it. Please don't confuse us with those considered native. Semi-autonomy never was in our nature. Just is as the Lucy. Wild Indian status and Cherokees riding Ruchis. In my war bonnet, if you want it, bring it to your region. And black forces the same color the European. Part of my autonomy. I know one day they'll honor me. This ain't pertaining to 28 Deuteronomy. Self-determination, controlling our situation. Ain't no more indoctrination from faces.
Aborigines, which means what? Black folks. You never find a white aborigine. Aborigines are called natives, or they're always dark-skinned people. You and I are aborigines, but you don't like to be called an aborigine.
Yeah, rhyme so dope, my eyes low. When you move like God, the time slow. I came back for the blacks and John Doe's. Crack open them land patents, let go of them townhomes. What's a native to a native? He $5 dough if he not melanated. Pale faces got you waiting on a savior. Sending prayers up, he texting back on vacation. God's children, give all your praise Jesus, but how God feeling? He say put no one before him in divine image. It's true with God and Christians. I got a vision, but niggas ain't gotta listen, so they don't. We came from the soil, wasn't fucking with no boats. Bible took our spirit, English potted on our homes. Tribal families turned on us, don't act like y'all don't know. But fuck them and they grudges. We was something turned to nothing. And now we nothing's turned to somethings. Reincarnation of ancients, fresh up out the oven. This the message to the black man. 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 Shooters on my roof, lawyers in the coop. We can never die, bitch, we bulletproof. This the message to the black man. This the message to the black man. Say you wasn't slaves, you was prisoners of war. You stop wasting your time, these other bitches ain't important. You ain't meditating, you ain't mating with the sauce. Like what the fuck's a noodle if you ain't painted with the sauce? I find it hard to trust the pastor who rather side with the master, who preaching we should submit while getting murdered and captured. About how we should wait on God is never our vernacular. They get paid and praised by the dollar long as they keeping us stagnant. And niggas think they woke, huh? Like you could change a whole world through a vote, huh? Like slave masters willing to let their slave go, huh? That slave master was probably your kinfolk, huh? History in reverse, a black king strategy. When blacks were your majesty, they always hide your pyramids but point to where the castles be. Aristocracies with your last name patent accurately. Yeah. And I ain't even tell half the shit. Like, I ain't even tell a quarter of the shit. I'm just getting started. Y'all niggas rap about busting guns and all this weird shit. I'm trying to get my people back, nigga.
You know, everything is vintage. Everything is classic. Cause ain't nothing new under the sun. That means it's been done before. But not like this though. Yeah, the guy flows giving with such precision. Flow like a Maybach, that's what keep me driven. Roof partition, scribing to the cosmo, omnipotent vision. I'm everywhere, tell me what I'm really missing. Traveling badge up in past fifth dimension. P now too wide open to see religion. Resonating way too loud for me to listen. Is you listening? Merc Kush jumping out the gym like Blake Griffin. Have your mind somewhere in the ethers missing. I cook food for thought and they proceed to listen. Cause my flow's nourishment and my words are living. See my tongue way stronger than that gun you gripping. Cause a big bang like the birth of earth was given. I get missing through the instruments and melody. I don't make music, I compose sound therapy. I think I'm Nick Tesla, Bob Marley, master of ceremony, nigga, I'm God body. Cracking up a bottle open and I'm calling Baron. Osiris Green, Mosra Beads, got them knockers staring. I think I'm Jeff Ford. Noah Drew, painting pictures with these words, man, it's what I do. Shouts out the Thriller campaign, nigga, what it do? Keeping everything kosher, no Jew. How I ride on the day that Noah would die. I'm a rule back, we supposed to ride. High ride on the day that Malcolm died. By any means, I'm living my life. Ay, since an adolescent, be getting it right. Cause the people who were pressing, they caring for life. Had to make my own way from nickel and dime. Till a nigga graduated and got me a pine. Where I'm from, man, them boys ain't playing around. Hopping out ski mask, they laying it down. Just because you match your description. Even though we all know it's fiction. All they really want to do is convict them. Forge his name or make up a victim. When it's feeling like the world is against them. It's all good, nigga, galaxies with them. It's all good, a galaxy with them. It's all good, nigga, my yacht with them. Hey. Shouts out to my ancestors. Oh, wow. Thriller campaign. The real is. Live life always.
Live life always, you heard?
Y'all know. My folks.
Serious. Hey.
Bang, bang,
Turn
bang.
up. Hey. Come on.
Trey, what up?
Turn up. Hey.
Yogi. Get my tech. Fresh, what up, nigga? Get my phone. Everything is vintage.
Yeah. Pull up. Yeah, pull me up, man. Let's get ready to it, man. Play me a little one more. Give me one more, man. Give me one more, man. While we get up. Just when I get on screen, we'll let go. Yeah, I'm ready. Pull up on me. See me? I don't see me either. There you go. It's flipped over now.
Infamous Trey Ali.
I said paper on paper on paper. Ain't no genocide, we was killed on paper. Buried us alive in the proudest of the paper. They know who we are, swear they hate us cause they ain't us. I said paper on paper on paper. Ain't no genocide, we was killed on paper.
What?
Buried us alive in the proudest of the paper. They know who we are, swear they hate us cause they ain't us. I said gotta never die, never left us. Even though they took you home, he's still behind you like a catcher. Life is like a doctor, everybody want their checkup. Money, heaping preacher charge for a confession. See, ain't nobody focused on the bullshit that they told us. Always trying to pin you sick when ain't nobody came before us. We the best part of waking up before the Folgers. That's why they want your backs against the wall like a poster. Indoctrination being sold as education. Most of history they taught you came from some imagination. Roots was never true, fuck the whole compilation. Fuck Walter Plecker, fuck Alex Haley. America is Egypt, Israel, Queen Khalifa. Babylon used to devil by NY, check my fever. Niggas think I'm lying cause they sleep. But bitch, I ain't no fool shopping my toes every season. I said paper on paper on paper. Ain't no genocide, we was killed on paper. Buried us alive in the proudest of the paper. They know who we are, swear they hate us cause they ain't us.
What they say? Come on. What? Doing a campaign, you heard? What up to the party? What up? Shout out to the party, you heard?
Infamous Trey Ali.
I said paper on paper on paper. Ain't no genocide, we was killed on paper. Buried us alive in the proudest of the paper. They know who we are, swear they hate us cause they ain't us. I said paper on paper on paper. Ain't no genocide, we was killed on paper. Buried us alive in the proudest of the paper. They know who we are, swear they hate us cause they ain't us. I said gotta never die, never left us. Even though they took you home, he's still behind you like a catcher. Life is like a doctor, everybody want their checkup. Money, heaping preacher charge for a confession. See, ain't nobody focused on the bullshit that they told us. Always trying to pin you sick when ain't nobody came before us. We the best part of waking up before the Folgers. That's why they want your backs against the wall like a poster. Indoctrination being sold as education. Most of history they taught you came from some imagination. Roots was never true, fuck the whole compilation. Fuck Walter Plecker, fuck Alex Haley. America is Egypt, Israel, Queen Khalifa. Babylon used to devil by NY, check my fever. Niggas think I'm lying cause they sleeping. But bitch, I ain't no fool shopping my toes every season. I said paper on paper on paper. Ain't no genocide, we was killed on paper. Buried us alive in the proudest.
Pull up. Campaign mix, man. You already know what it is. You know, I'm crossing through the doors on a 9/11. So, you know, this is 9/11. I'm on a, you know what I mean, we're 11 minutes, but it's when we walk through the doors, we can't be late. You know what I mean? Shout out to the party, the campaign mix. You already know what it is. We appreciate everybody that's tapped in with us. You know what I mean? Shout out to our guests. Whoa, I got a reverb. That's what happens when you live in the booth. Again, Music Media Lounge. Let me start there. MuseumLounge.com live in our local area, Fort Lauderdale, Sunrise, 954. You already know what it is. Lauderdale, Lords of the Hill, you know what I mean? You already know what it is, you local, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to my Glade boys, you know what I'm saying? We in the sticks. 305, I got to shout out to my people, got our family down there in Miami, you know what I mean? South of me, 30 minutes maybe. But at the end of the day, in north of me, 561, shout out to Pompano and all that good stuff too. You already know. West Palm Beach and all y'all located, tapping in. I've been getting some feedback from all y'all, so I'm shouting you out. You heard me locally, you heard? Museum Lounge, because we live here, y'all listening to us locally. We try to keep telling y'all to keep coming over, slide over to the YouTube so you can get the visuals. Hopefully, you after the fact you get them, but you're listening to us live, tapped in locally. We want to show you some love either way. You know what I mean? To tapping into the mix from the beginning. Also, too, this week we're gonna update the website. As you see, the website we just showed you joints. We've been updating some things so everybody can, navigate properly to where they need to go when they tap in what we got going on, right? And we got the Mixcloud, we first started, before we even got on YouTube as an actual local, just doing our Sunday show, mix show, we were literally on Mixcloud /MuseumLounge.com, you know what I'm saying? From local to even using that as a platform. We play music, you know what I mean? That's what we do. Blaze don't get enough credit. I know we be playing the indigenous joints and all that, but don't sleep on through the campaign. You feel me? And Blaze, by the way, shout out to Blaze. You know what I mean? Because he could go in. And if the Mixcloud though, we're gonna bring it back. You know what I mean? And we're gonna repair that. You know what I'm saying? And put it on the website because we took it down for a minute because we want everybody to focus to get to the YouTube, and y'all did that. We appreciate it, but we got to get back to the music. So we will be putting a link, and we'll be sharing that 8 to 9 campaign mix on the cloud. You heard me? On Mixcloud. You heard me? Yeah. And don't forget too, what else we got? The mix joints that you used to record. We got them on. That's on the website still, Blaze. See, I'm lost for words. All these sources we got people to go to. You see, you got SoundCloud. See, look at that SoundCloud, Mixcloud. Don't get mad at me now. I knew it was a cloud. I feel like I'm floating on one right now. You heard me? Margaritas and reefer. So yeah, appreciate everybody that's tapped in with us wherever you might be located at. It's your boy Matt Gazer. Still the campaign. The harsh reality is live life autonomously. Shout out to the party, to all our social club members, everybody supporting what we do with the campaign. We appreciate you. You know what I mean? Esther Luciano Macario. Shout out to all my American Maroons out there. You already know. All my folks has been disenfranchised and all that good stuff. We're here to kind of govern ourselves in a way in the 21st century to get some things done. But this history thing is what we love to do because one of the things y'all know it's for. And we come with sources, right? Last week, shout out to our guest, Sekou. You know what I'm saying? And my man, Yamasee Chatuapa. I call him a noble savage, you know what I mean, out that bayou. That's the French way of saying creek. You know what I'm talking about? So he on the other side, but, that's my dog over there. We've been on each other for a minute now, as y'all know from last week's show. We appreciate everybody that's been giving us feedback on that, that's liked, subscribed, and shared since that time, and shared the information that we've been putting out. And even going back and watching some of the older stuff, you know what I mean? Too. So appreciate y'all for that. But yeah, last week though, what inspired this week's joint, because see, I gotta put all this so y'all can get some context. Clubhouse is what we do locally, not locally, not of course it's not. I should say daily, that's what I meant to say. And during the week, people that pull up on us to answer questions or network or whatever we're doing when we can during the week, it kind of changed up, the platform changed up. And I gotta give a shout out to a Black platform that's owned, you know what I'm saying? And it's it was in Isaac Hayes, right? The third, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to him, the owner of Fanbase. Hope I said it last. Isaac Hayes, right? Yeah. So yeah, you know what I'm saying? So we on that, we gonna get on that too, because if it's Black owned or if it's white owned, if we're using social media, I ain't biased, you know what I'm saying? It's like the chessboard, anybody can get it. You know what I'm talking about? So yeah, that part right there. So tap in with us on any of those platforms during the week. You know what I'm saying? We're doing Aboriginal Wall Street trivia on Fanbase, particularly because we can give out them hearts. You know what I'm talking about? Being that it's the harsh reality over here. You know what I mean? So as long as you know that, you can tap in with us when you can. So thank y'all. You know what I mean? Now today, the show is inspired though from last week's show, being that because of Clubhouse, we got messed up. And shout out to the ladies. See, I'm trying to get around to it that we had planned for this Sunday. So I don't cap. So they shout out to A Library, Miss Shay, Miss Stell, Miss Sherry. You know what I mean? Shout out to Bria. Shout out to Miss Annette. Shout out to all the ladies of wisdom that we have on the party or affiliate or do things or, you know, network with us at the party. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Miss Angela too. You know what I mean? On Clubhouse. She be rocking with us. You know what I mean? And other ladies as well, if I ain't mention your name. The situation though, well, for the panel, we're gonna have to reschedule that. So we're gonna work that out. But Clubhouse threw it off of us being able to kind of organize it so logistically for us to be able to have everything on point. So that's gonna come back around because we respect our matriarchal side of our party. You feel me? Yeah, we want y'all input. So tap in with us on that too. But again, this week we're replacing it because of last week's show, and that was dealing with the Yamasee. And because of that, you know, the word and a couple key things were thrown out there. You feel me? And the Amorgarickakans. And I had this book last week that I'm gonna obviously be reading from, because in this Carolina Genesis book, Beyond the Color Line, edited by Scott Withrow. You know what I mean? I've had this book for a minute. You know what I mean? I got pages folded in and shit like that. And I had to, again, after I went to sea as a witness and things I was doing in a network 12, 13 years ago with Washita, Brother Joe, shout out to him, his family, you know what I'm saying? And obviously say cool what he was doing and how, and Yuchi, what they would, everybody we was rocking with and networking and things were happening, you know? And it was a beautiful time to see them get the key to the city. And obviously that historical things like the Sakahachi War I learned about in that small black town, as they would call it, and be able to correlate some things that led me on a trail. It's been an Esther Lusty trail, by the way. And the heritages and cultures and languages and things that are tied, especially when you read this book, it had to make me question and go back and research some shit. You heard me? I had to go check myself and sit down for a minute, Amaru style. You know what I mean? And we've been in the crate since that time on a campaign because it's a marathon. See, Maranatha to you. So it's a marathon. You dig? It's not a race. It's a marathon. Some Maranatha. You know what I'm saying? It's a Maranatha. You know what I mean? So yeah, you know what I mean? All that good stuff. Mr. and Mrs. Shout out to everybody that's pulled up on us once again. So yeah, tonight, Amorgarickakan, past and present. We want to kind of put that into a capsule so y'all can know that we know, and also try and give you some sources for you can go do your research. Maybe you pull up on us like we tell you to do, and either, you know, like, subscribe to it, or maybe not. You know what I'm saying? But we're gonna show you the sources that go with it. So, you know, facts over feelings type of vibe. You know, I had to do it for myself. You know what I mean? Salvation is within the heart. I had to heal myself when I found some of these things out, because you got to humble yourself with history. You know what I mean? That's it. Honor your mothers and your fathers. You know what I mean? So yeah, we got our guest in the building. Our guest tonight, Snine Ether. He's with the party. Tecumseh's with the party. But we know we want, because of the last show, I'm like, yo, I want y'all to pull up on me for this conversation, this dialogue tonight. And we're gonna give y'all a little something, you know what I mean? Because I didn't want to just make it like I was gonna come here and just read from the book all boring and everything. I wanted to engage and really, you know what I'm saying, like how we do on Clubhouse, as they would say. Y'all know we all be get down. You know what I mean? When we get the chance to get around each other and really start tweaking and shit. You know what I'm saying? So tap in, pull them up, man. Let's get our guests, our party members on the panel discussion tonight for this conversation.
What it do? What it do? You can hear me?
Yes, sir. What up, Tecumseh?
What's happening?
What they do? Maranatha to you. Peace, shalom, and all that good stuff. Hincha,
shalom, Rahubat, peace.
All that shit, yeah. 9. Peace to you.
What's good? What's good? You hear me?
Yeah, OY, all that good stuff. Maranatha to you.
Okay.
So yeah, man. You know, last week I had, you know, y'all saw the show, you know what I mean, and we talked behind after the show. Obviously, as party members, stuff we build on, what we do, and that's, you know, I asked y'all to come because us three, I should say, we have some great, you know, conversations in this particular lane of things when it comes to the party. Shout out to the party in general, but I know us three gonna chop it up about certain things when we hear things and be like, well, what you think about this and what you think about that? And I think both of y'all have adept information on things that we go back and forth about. It sharpens the source for everybody in the party. So y'all, that's why you know what it is. Why y'all here with the party tonight to tap in live with us, you know what I mean, for this discussion. So everybody else, again, shout out to Nine Ether and Tecumseh that's here with us for this build. You know what I mean? We're gonna call it a build. This is a build about to take place. All right, so tap in. So in the first 30 minutes, I'm gonna give you some context from last week to this week, and then we're gonna go into it. So let's slide. You ready to give me the first source? Shout out to God at Green, Baron P. Obviously, you know what I mean? We're not alone in the studio. Ooh, I'm trying to tell you something. It's going down. Ooh, hey, that like bright in the motherfucker. You heard? She's got me. Ooh. That bit on fire. Yeah, dim it just a little bit for me. There you go, sir. There you go. Thank you. It was blinding me. I literally saw myself looking chinky-eyed. The cataracts was kicking in. And I was like, this ain't gonna work. You know what I'm talking about? All right. So now, America. I'm playing. I'm serious. My eyes got chinky on the screen immediately. You heard me? Yeah, so 1507, the Western Hemisphere, the word America, North and South America, the cartographer, Martin Welsmuller, treatise, you know what I'm saying, and the cosmography, introduction, and I say introduction, but you know, Spanish, Latin, whatever, the modern Latin you see right behind it. Americanus, you know what I'm saying, the word Americanus is there. I want you to see that word. You see, I'm going to say it again, Americanus, which is American, which is America in a Latin, a Ladino way of saying it. Now, after that, traditionally, or after Amerigo Vespucci, and you know that, we could debunk that, but we know we're going to let him stand there because he's on it, it's done, right? So it take the time frame. It says after that, who made 2 trips to the New World and all that good stuff, right? So if you don't know about this, Novus Mundi, the keywords, you might want to go back and research after the fact. Novus Mundi means New World. He's the one that's really tied to the New World term being used. I know a lot of time people try to contribute it, or I say connect it, layman terms, to Columbus and all the different names that people throw around with him in 1492, in the coincidence of the Papal Bull being passed in 1492 as well, and the Alhambra Decree of 1492 as well. Anyways, we ain't gonna go into all that. These are just things I make sure I'm throwing at you real quick, fast. I know I'm saying it, but you can go back and watch after the fact type thing. Now, I want to get to Appalachia. We'll hit on Appalachia. See, I'm on a moving fast time frame to get that part out the way. So Appalachia, you make it a little bit bigger for the folk. Yeah, appreciate you. So now Appalachia, you know what I'm saying, is the term of America, especially the eastern side of the mountain range going into the Atlantic. You know what I mean? So all the nations of people, First Nations of people, that is on the Atlantic coast, north to south, going up and down, the Appalachia, this term is what would be also called to the what we call like an imperial standpoint of nations of people that's in these areas. This is the cultural and geographical region of inland eastern U.S. 1880s and from the Appalachian Mountains, which are its core. Earlier, Appalachia was proposed as a better name for United States of America by Washington Irving in 1839. And it says he preferred the Allegheny, or I might be saying that wrong. Am I saying that wrong? Allegheny? Yes, I got it right. See, y'all should know me. I'll be messing up these joints. It says, and he may get the credit for coinage of the word, and then it says, see America. Now, I only want to point out the Appalachia part because it's going to go into to understand of the Appalachian when you go to etymology.com, and it will give you some more information tied to the Appalachian people and their core of where they're coming from. And see, it's going to scroll into it. So we'll give you a little bit of that, and then we're going to keep it moving. And I want you to see this so you can know it for the record if you didn't know, because as me being Muskogee Maroon heritage and what we do, I have to say that I know that the Appalachian people is the root of the Muskogee Maroon heritage, dealing with also the language we're going to talk about later on in the show, Hiti, that's tied to a certain group of people and what empire they would be tied to. So either way, in reference to the North American mountain range, It is written Appalachian by the Spanish explorers and originally in reference only to the southern end of the range. Originally the name of the Appalachian, a Muskegean people of northwestern Florida, perhaps from the Appalachee, Abalachi, other side of the river, or Hitichi Muskegean, Appalachee. See, that's why I said it last week. You didn't remember that. I said the Appalachee. You know what I'm saying? With the W in it right there. We got V's. We don't use A's. Dwelling on one side. So I'm dwelling on one side at the, as far as one side of my family, dwelling from this area from the time of immemorial until we got marooned on our own land, right? But it's the spelling shifted under influence of adjectives with N and IAN and all that good stuff. So that's I want to make sure I gave you that right there real quick just to come in, right? Now we're gonna slide. Let me get to the next chart. So this is just make sure you know that we know there's a difference. Now you see that there's an American term. This word American is tied to this, kind of tied to the term Amorgarickakan and Amakaris or Americanus, as you see the Latin term for America. And Amacario is the way I like to say it in my self-identifying way of saying the word, you know what I mean? Correlating to myself and others. I like to say Amacario. That's the loosely Amacario, by the way. Yamasee War, 1715 to 1717. Now we're going to come on slide down. You feel me? Now I showed this last week, and I wanted you to see it one more time so you can see the whole region of the southeastern region of what will be called the Appalachian area prior to it even being called Southeast today America of the United States. And you can see all the things that's in there, you know what I mean, and how far, even though they have the word Carolina, you can see how far Carolina goes. You see the mountain range, which is at the top. That whole little mountain range already, they scroll through it, they make sure they see it. That whole mountain range going across the top, you see what I'm talking about? And all the riverways, which would be creeks or bayous, sliding down, coming off of it and shit. You heard? You know what I'm talking about? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So we can scroll back down when I get to that picture so we can get to them, you know what I mean? We're gonna scroll down a little bit. I want to make sure they see that one more time. Hold up, come back up. We'll make sure people know from last week. 24th annual South Carolina Archaeological Month, October 2015. See, we're going into October. That's why this is happening for a reason, right? But we in what year? About 8 years later. So either way, slide down. We'll get to that picture. That picture right there. Remember last week? Yep, that's it right there. Make that bigger. Let's make that bigger. Carolina. Now, this is a bigger part of that mountain range that we were showing you on the bigger picture, right? What we showed you last week. Now, we're going to come up and make it a little bit more bigger. I want you to see that word is underneath Appalachian Mountains, dealing with the Appalachian people. You see what I'm saying? Make sure you caught that. So if you didn't catch it, we're trying to catch you up, like, how, series go, especially when they go back to back like this. I was talking about that word earlier. You was just talking about this word earlier. That's what I'm trying to say. So that's why we're going to make it a little bit bigger. Make them see that word. The Rickokans, or the Hawkins. You know what I'm saying? The Hawkins, right? The Hawkins, right? Knocking. These are the boys that are vicious. Yeah, they ain't got no pressure. Yes. And I mean, let's see, they can't hear you. What he just said was these are people that are wiping people out, and they teamed up with the West Coast. Just so you hear what God of Green is saying. We're gonna make sure it's working out something. We'll get that right. So yeah, though, the Rickahans and all the different variations, you might say it right. We'll make sure that stands in your face for a second. Pause. Now we're gonna keep it moving though. Let's go to the next one. We can zoom out. That's all I wanted you to see from last week. We put the source in the joint last week, so you can go read up on it. Hopefully you did. You know what I'm talking about? But hopefully you did. You know what I'm saying? That you read up on everything that was going down. You see me? All right. So now that we done, we got that first, like that refresher from last week, because reading everything else we're showing you besides this book that I'm gonna read from, dealing with a particular chapter, and I'm gonna show you the book on as much as I can on this screen. See, so you can see that this is the same book, Carolina Genesis, right here. See, I went and got the book for y'all. I'll show you a little something. See the word Amorgarickakans. I make sure I show you the things. You know what I mean? Dealing with this. This is in the Smithsonian too. They got this book registered in the Smithsonian for historical reasons, right? So yeah, scroll down a little bit though. Scroll down a little bit though. Let me get to it. I want them to see it. You see, it highlighted it for me when I pulled it up, because that's how I found it online today. I had to use the word Amorgarickakans for this book to pull up. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So now in this book lay out a lot, because this is the only book that I actually have found this name not only be used, but the person felt dedicated enough to do a whole chapter on the word Amorgarickakans. You see what I'm talking about? In the Carolina genesis of things. And you see that map we showed you of Carolina technically is all of Georgia, North Florida, Alabama, parts of Mississippi. All of that is considered the Carolinas, from North Carolina down, going into the Mississippi of the Southeast Appalachian territory. Now, where I'm going with this is that the actual link, again, on page 63 to give you a reference. And as you're scrolling through this right here, I'm going to read to some things that I wanted you to see, besides just giving you the fact that the book has the word Amorgarickakan in it a lot of times, because there's a whole chapter behind it. Pull me back up on the big screen. Let me get in this. I want to show them this real quick so they can just see. You see? All right, now, boom. Is that the first chapter? That is the first chapter. Am I right? Make sure. I want to make sure. All right, I'm on point. So I guess page 63. You see that? These are pictures you might see on TikTok and shit. You see how it say Indians of the New Netherlands in 1671? You see the depiction? Make sure you see that. I want to show you the page. I'll make sure you get that. El nombre de Dios or Macaris. Yeah. So now, I'm not gonna read the whole thing, but before we get into it, I want to read just this little bit something. Put the screen back up on that book one more time, so that people can get that book and see that word on it and one more time. Yes, sir. Where should I give it to him at? Where should I give it to him at? No, we're gonna start on. I'm going to the next page, 64. Right. So what page? Wait, are we gonna get lucky? Go back up. What did I say? What page did you say? They gonna give me that, huh? It's not in that link that I found. See, I tried, y'all. I couldn't get you the whole book, but hey, what pages does it say I have in here? It's loading. Don't sweat it. All right, so I showed you the book one more time. No magic tricks. On 64, a compounded prefix, amorgari and amakari, are similar. Amor or ama from the Spanish denotes beloved, probably derived from the Sephardic amor. Ngari or Gael denotes people in the Muskegean language family. And so, Amorgari or Makari of a bilingual etymology is roughly translated as the beloved people. South Carolina public records prior to Yamasee War in 1715 mentioned the Yamasee as the Amakari or Amakario on the Westerbo, also known as the Savannah River. Yamakran and variants of Yamasee, or variant for Yamasee, was given by Francisco de Chacora from circa 1721 when he was held in captivity by the Spanish. Swanton inaccurately suggests the Yamakran is of Assuan etymology because of the appearance of a non-Muskegean R in the word. But the emergence of the ending Aron, A-R-O-N, is simply the Spanish third-person plural past tense verb suffix conjugation as a hablaron, which in parentheses it says they spoke, ageron, in parentheses it says they walked, and conteron, in parentheses it says they counted, and so forth. The word Yamakran thus appears to be a word of deliberate bilingual context, exhibiting both native and Spanish influence. The Matoic, see this word Matoic, M-E-T-O-A-C suffix with the word Akan, K-A-A-N, which is the last part of this word you see called Amorgarickakans. How I would probably pronounce it. If you pronounce it differently, I apologize. Hey, you know what we're looking at, though. But where it says that in the understanding of this word, Amorgaric is actually the Amorgari, which is tied to this Ladino, or we would say, Ladino. You know what I'm saying? They say Spanish, I'm gonna say Ladino, right? Word for the Almora people. And then the word Akan, once again, is tied to the Matoic. This word Matoic is tied to the Algonquin Aboriginal language of the northern part of the Appalachia and all those different people in that area. And also the word later, as you see, and when it says Gaelic or Gael, it's tied to Gaelic. You know what I'm saying? That's how I'm going to correlate that later on. I'm coming into the Muskogee towards the end. I want to make sure I get this out so I can get my folks on the panel to come in on it. You know what I mean? Wale to Wale, Guale, Gali. It's Gali. Right, it's Gali. We don't say right. But we're gonna let that slide. Don't hold on now. So it says, a toy suffix kakan implies the act of teaching, interpreting, or speaking. Therefore, Amorgarickakans can be translated as beloved people who interpret. Within the context of the name Amorgarickakan, the native root word appears to have derived from the Muskegean and the Matoic language families, expanding the Atlantic seaboard south to north or vice versa. Interior of the Census Department of Washington, D.C. since 1894 acknowledged the existence of 19 tribes in the South Carolina claimed by the Creek Nation, a Muskogee Confederation that at one time inhabited at least half of the state. Or should we just say the map we showed you where it was Carolina was considered at one point? So where it says the Yamasee, matter of fact, there it is, you caught up to it, God. The Yamasee, also referred to as the Amorgarickakan and the Amakaris and or Amakario, were listed among the 19 tribes as being dark complexioned, found widely scattered among the inhabitants of North and South America. They were supposed, see, this is the problem where people get mad at right here. But it says supposed, so let you know they don't really know. But I'm going to read it how it say. They were supposed to have been immigrants from Africa prior to the European discovery of America, whom de Leon persisted in slave hunting about Beaufort, South Carolina in 1520, having captured Francisco de Chicora at about this time. Leon referred to the Yamasee or Jamasee implied as the Amorgarickan and the Amakaris and or Amakario or Amorgario as Negroes being valuable laborers while the Indians were deemed worthless. Pat Spurlock, elder in the Melungeons, examining the Appalachian legend, wrote the Englishmen deemed the people of North America, or excuse me, of North Africa, I'm tripping, so dark as to be called black and historically used more in Negro almost interchangeably. So yeah, you're gonna find this right here, you know. Well, go to the bottom so you can see the Department of the Interior, so they won't think we cap. Because the book has the source. And let them sit there and get that real quick. Yeah, so that was the key part that I really wanted to go into dealing with these groups of people. The Waxaw, there's a lot of names. Tamales, the Weesock, the Swanky, the Hachi, the Yuchi. You know what I'm saying? All these different names. Ogeechee. Like you got to get Geechee. That's why I said it earlier, like when he said last week, you know what I mean, the Gullah. We were like, well, we know about the Ogeechee, and you take the O off, you get the Geechee people. You know what I'm talking about, sitting off the Ogeechee River. However, and then they also are considered as Amakario, which means there are dark-skinned groups of people in the southeast region that are obviously, with this mixture that they're going to propose, look like obviously like the Negroes that these Europeans found here, which is the Spanish, de Leon in them. So, however the case might be, Creeks and all these other groups of people are in this source, and that information is between page 64 and 66 of this book. And at that point, we can slide to the next source. And after that, I'm gonna let the our guests tap in with us, and we're gonna go in. I don't want you thinking, Cappy, you know, Department of Interior to know what it is. To say the Creek claimed this shit, you know what I mean, in 1800s, 19th century. They knew dark-skinned groups of people and what their real historic lineage and connections was to this place. You know what I'm talking about? On my side, it's not showing yet, yo. Yeah. On my side, it's not showing yet. All right. So this word Amora. We guys did some research about this word Amora, and it's tied to, you see that word interpreter or reciter. You know what I mean? It kind of sounds like what I just read to you, dealing with the people that were called Amorgarickakan, right? And how the Matoic people had a way of saying interpreter or a person that translates or whatever, and they're dealing with the same understanding. But now these two groups come together. Now this is, I guess, that mixture of people and the ones that are obviously civilized enough to interpret between both groups. However the case may be, Amora dealing with the Aramaic or Hebrew people, this goes back anciently, as it says, in ancient times. And the Jewish scholar attached to one of the several academics in Palestine, right? So it's going to go in there and let you know Amora. That's plural for, that means it's more than just one Amora. And this is collaborated in writing the Gemara, collected interpretations and commentaries of the Mishnah and authoritative code of the Jewish oral laws. I call that Kabbalistic things. And it's on his critical marginal notes called the Sefeta. You know what I mean? And the Amorim were thus the successors of the earlier Jewish scholars, which is called the Tanna. I tell y'all now, Moses to me is a Tanna, you know what I mean? Who produced the Mishnah and were themselves the creators of the Talmud and all that good stuff. The writings in various Aramaic dialects, etc. We're going to keep it moving. That's all I want them to see. I just want them to see that this word Amora is tied to that word Amor, Agari situation. You know what I mean? Just give you a couple language parts before we go into the dialogue we about to have. Give me one more. Because I'm going to let them take off. Because trust me, there's some other things I know we found. I wanted them to share that with y'all, not me. So you don't want them I'm capping or nothing. You know what I'm talking about? So yeah. Let me get the next one. Mar, like Mr. and Mrs. Because all this capping and stuff that people be talking about, you know what I'm talking about? So I got to go ahead and make sure I put that out now. See, this word, let it sit there. Let it sit. Let it marinate on. Mar, like going to Mars. Written in the silent youth, is you also have Mor, M-O-R. Western Sierric, literal meaning middle lord, is a title of reverence. Sierric Christianity, corresponding feminine forms of Morth, Marth, male lady. We've showed this before. It's given to all saints, Eastern Christianity. You see down here, it's going to come down, it says, taken by bishops, which means the word Mor or Moran or Mar are all terms. Now, this word Catholic, that is word Catholic with the O-I on the end. If you didn't know, maybe you didn't know, so I want to make sure you get this tonight. You know what I mean? Click on Catholic form, dog. Let them get that word Catholic real quick, because I want folks to know. There it is. I just want them to know, because the translation is there. They put the word Catholic there for you to understand. It is a Greek translation of this word Mar, Mor, or Moran. You dig? So there it is. Catholic is the head of a certain churches in some Eastern Christian traditions. The title implies autocephalia, and in some cases is the title of the head of an autonomous church. I had to do it too, because it's going to show that word autonomy. You hear me? Autonomous. You know what I'm saying? Like anytime I see autonomy, I got to make sure you know that, that's what, yeah. Anyways, though, and it says concerning the whole universal general is originally designated a financial or civil office in the Roman Empire. You can go back to the last source. But that's within it. So when you go research this and you go behind us and check on it, you can see that we're showing it to you as though. Now come down a little bit though. Let's go to Judaism. Scroll past all this stuff. You know what I mean? For all my Mr. and Mrs. out there. See that word lordship, majesty, self-existence? Yeah, right here. Stay there, right there. I want Judaism. Because the key words I want to be putting, the people to know tonight in this conversation, right? So now it says, obviously, Gemara, and it's going to say the Mishnah Hebrew, Mar, was also a title. See, people get caught up in things later on, connotative things. Mar, More is a title of Exilarchs. Now, click on the word Exilarch form. Let me get that Exilarch word, because I don't want them to think we capping. I want to make sure that all that's in context, right here. Now, look, Exilarchs were leaders of the Jewish community in Persia, Mesopotamia, during the era of the Parthians, Sassanians, is the best way I'm saying, Abbasid Caliphate, up until the Mongol invasion of Baghdad in 1258 CE. And obviously it says the Exilarchs were regarded by the Jewish community as the royal heir of the house of David and held a place of prominence as both rabbinical authority and as noble more within a Persian court and of the courts, as you will find about later on in history, but we're not going to do that tonight. Biggie slide, and I'm done. I think I landed, right? What I got next? Because I'm ready to let them go ahead and do this on this part. What you think about that Tecumseh and 9 tonight? What so far, what you've seen, and let's get into it. What's your thoughts so far for everything we've gone over?
For me, it aligned perfectly with my stance on it. To make it real short, what I conclude is the Amorgarickakan is the mix between like these Hebraic groups of people who are migrating here. Like way before that point, there's different variants of this migration, but that term in and of itself is just referring to a mixed group of people of the indigenous people here, or the people who were originally here, and a group of people who migrated here.
My fault. Yeah, bet. Now, what's your thoughts, bro?
Yeah, I identify the same. It's an early group of them same people mixing up, and this is why they can assimilate real quick, because they've had ancient trade with these people, and we have them in the 1600s. So if you know they down there and they up here in the north region, all through the Appalachian range, and very little is recorded about them, knowing that, those that we see when you start to get those recordings not passing the 1700s, there's a problem of extinction by way of the paper.
That's what's up. Now, what I had next? I wanted them to be involved with the next source, because I'm really past the part of what I want to just get people caught up to so we can have the discussion. All right, bet. So I want to make sure. No matter, we're gonna wait for that. Let them get that, because I know they got some stuff to share. We towards the end of the joint, we could throw that in there to come back around, circle the wagon. You know what I mean? That's how we're gonna do that. We're gonna wait. We're gonna last 3 joints can wait. So I know y'all had some stuff y'all had found out about the Amorgarickakan, and I wanted to make sure that the Amorgarickakan situation that y'all came across, to let y'all share your thoughts. Who want to go first? You know what I mean? Which one of y'all want to slide on it? Can you hear me?
I can present something real quick.
Right.
I sent you a video. I want to play a quick snippet of it before I read a source.
Got it, Green. Got it. No pressure.
Y'all ever watch the show America Unearthed?
America Unearthed?
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard of it. I haven't watched it in a couple of years.
Yo, that show got some drop, bro. It got a lot of drop. The snippet from that show, they kind of touching on this ancient Scandinavian migration, but I'll let the video talk about it.
All right, go ahead. Slide on it.
Ancient explorers who braved the open ocean to claim new land. They left their homeland and traveled to Greenland, Iceland, and even made it to Canada. That is where most people believe the trail of evidence ends. But not me. It wouldn't have been hard for the Vikings to get to the United States, even inland. They could have easily sailed down the east coast of North America, around Florida into the Gulf of Mexico, the Mississippi River, where they would have connected with other rivers to end up in Hiti. Or they could have come through the Gulf of St. Lawrence, connected with the Great Lakes, gone down the Mississippi River, connected with the Arkansas River to get to this spot. And that's where I think they may have left a message in runes on this rock, called the Heavner Runestone. This Heavner runestone could prove that not only the medieval Norse, but the Vikings came to what is now the United States. The inscription makes perfect sense. The runes look good. The weathering looks good. And therefore, I have to say, in my opinion, you've got a legitimate Viking Age inscription.
It's good to know. A lot of people feel that way too around here.
I have a good sense of this rock, but I'd like to be able to take a look at the overall geology to get a sense of how this piece fits in with that.
Hi. You might know me from my other job, but I'm a business owner too.
They got to get their commercials in.
Here at Once Upon a Farm, we chose the new Capital One Venture X business card. With no preset spending limit, our purchasing power adapts to meet our business needs. Love it. And unlimited double miles means we earn more too.
Me too. We're almost there. As you come say, you want the whole joint watched, right? You want to watch the whole thing, right? Context.
Huh? Nah, it's not. We're not watching the whole video. I really just wanted to show the. So I don't know if it was like glitching for you, but it showed like it was kind of glitching out a few times for me. And the part that I really wanted it to show was when they were talking about the routes that they would have taken, and they said it's a possibility that they could have basically took the eastern seaboard and came all the way around the bottom of Florida and went up into the Mississippi to get to where they was at. Like that's kind of what I wanted to get at.
Was it a time that you remember on the joint you wanted to get to, or we already showed it?
It was really at the very beginning. Granted, they're talking about in the clip is another part that I wanted them to get to too, about these stones, basically, are like these tablets that they found with inscriptions on them, and I wanted to like correlate it to the language family, what's being written on it, the group of people who would be writing these things. Like I'm trying to make a connection there, but I wanted to show that path that they took. But it's cool because I don't know if anybody saw it, but I heard them say it. So
no, ain't no pressure. Shit. Let me So do you want to watch the rest? You want to take this down? You want to keep it? You want?
Yeah, you can take it down. You can take it down. I'll just read from this source here.
Yeah, go ahead. It's on you. Put them on a big.
All right, give me a second. Let me see the. All right, can y'all see the screen? Can y'all see?
Yeah, we good now.
Can y'all see what I'm sharing?
Now. Yeah, I see it now. The white screen you got up. Yeah.
All right. So I wanted to connect this to.
Do you want? Are you controlling it, or got a green controlling it?
I'm controlling this.
Can you make it bigger? Can you make it bigger for the folk? For me too? Can you make it a little bit bigger? You know my cataracts now.
That's any better?
Yeah, it's better. Bet. Go ahead. Appreciate you.
All right. So it says on the trail of an ancient Northern European language. So real quick, just to validate it, this is written by enrolled Creek archaeologist. He goes by Alec Mountain, just to validate the source if anybody want to look into him. But it says very early on in my journey back in time, I realized that the Irish, Gaelic, Scottish Gaelic, Algonquin, Shawnee, Cherokee, and Muskogee Creek use the same suffix for the suffix word for people or tribe. It is written today as G, Gi, Ki, or Ki, but it is pronounced the same and means the same. Clearly, there was cultural contact, if not migration, back and forth across the Atlantic. The Yuchi consistently told Georgia colonists that their ancestors came from across the Atlantic from the home of the sun in ancient times to settle on the Savannah River, and that no one was living in the southeastern coastal plains at that time. However, there were many mounds and shell structures, so they knew that someone had lived there before them. The Muskogee Creek and Savannah River Yuchi used the word "u" for water. Yuchi is a Tennessee frontier misspelling of the tribal name. U was also the word used for water among the Atlantic coastal peoples of Ireland and France. The modern Irish Gaelic word for water, Uske, sounds very similar to Yuchi. The modern French word for water, Yil, is derived from it. Yuchi is an anglicization of the Creek word Usi or Yushi, which means descendants of water or ocean. And other Itstic Creeks, Itsamaya-based words for the Yuchi were Okati, Okani, Okoni, born in water, and Okasi, Ogichi, descendants from water. So basically what I'm bringing with that point there is trying to show that connection of these Gaelic Scandinavian people. And you were bringing up earlier Matoic. Matoic is in the language family of Algonquin, and it's showing that there's a clear correlation between the Gaelic language family and these groups of people. Did you want to say something?
No, I'm hype man right now. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. But what else did I want to? Let me. Can you see this screen here? Does it say etymologies of surviving? It don't show that the screen hopped over.
No, ain't click over yet. If you put it there, ain't click over yet. You know that it seems as if that Matoic part, most people don't even talk about that in our conscious indigenous community. You know what I mean? Of this language being tied to these groups, right? We don't see our people really diving deep in the crates about the cultures of these, especially the ones up there, Algonquin, right? Cause I ain't really hear too many people like, oh, you know, what's the Aboriginal language of the Algonquin people? Oh, it's Matoic. You know what I'm saying? You don't hear people even mention nothing. I'm not saying that's the only term that's being used, because there's other terms I've seen. Ooh. But at the same time, we got to be real about the fact that I don't even hear people mention it. Just like how most people down here, I think they say the terms, but they don't really understand what Muskogee and what it really is tied to too. You know what I'm saying? And when they say, "Oh, I'm Muskogee," and they be like, "Oh, well, we ain't got no mixtures. I'm 100% da da da," and be like, "Wait a second, bro. So the language and how this word came about and how the term and where's the root of it? What's the etymology of it? Where's the language base of the people in the exchange of trade or whatever the case might be?" Because we definitely know we ain't no savages the way they're trying to point it out, unless you're following that Catholic woman, Catholic Church, Pope, Papa Bull situation. So we know that's not the case. Then we can't get off that bullshit. We got to know that people are already trading and doing certain things way before what you're being told through academia with the 1492 narrative tied to Columbus. You got to get past that in your mind in these conversations when you're dealing with your indigenous ancestors from this land and their trade systems with other people prior to that time. So the Matoic thing, because we know the Bask, we know that the Bask came over and we found that it's tied, that Algonquin word itself is tied to Bask, right? Am I tripping? Or have we not seen that? That this Algonquin word? Well, now you've seen it too, right? Dealing with the word Bask, being the Bask people.
I'm definitely seeing it.
So we know the word, if the Bask got, see, this is the craziest thing, that the Bask language is Ascara, something like that. I'm saying it different ways so you can get it, but that's supposed to be their indigenous language, and they're from that area of what we would call the Iberian area of what they call Gaul before it became France, Portugal, and Spain that you know it as, right? So the Gaul Aboriginal people over there, also known as Bask, had an Aboriginal language. So now they come over here with the influences of what took place at the French, Spain, Portugal areas being developed underneath the Catholic rulership of Roman situations, and now you see an influence of these people speaking like what they call more of a Frenchish type of influence coming over. However the case might be, it seems as if people don't know. That's why I'm being detailed about it as much as I can to say it, that these people that are Basque, dealing with those groups of people over there that have an Aboriginal language, and then they come in contact with the group of people who are speaking Matoic, and the Matoic language are being identified by those people as Algonquin, based off my understanding. Am I tripping off that either? Or does that make sense to y'all, what I'm saying? Because you see where I'm going with that, right?
Yeah.
Definitely.
There's certain things I've read that I know we ain't going to be able to pull up tonight, so I'm trying to give a synopsis about what we've seen and read and dug into based off what, go ahead.
Can you see the source I put up?
I don't see nothing. Oh, there it is.
Okay.
I think it's coming up.
There you go.
Y'all can see it.
Yeah, it's on.
All right, so y'all brought this up earlier when you was going into it, the Ricka Hawkins, right? So it says most academic academician, I don't know how to pronounce that, author articles speculate that the Rickahawkins were a northern Algonquin tribe that moved down from the Great Lakes region into Western Virginia in the 1650s. That is not possible if they were located on the Atlantic coast of the North Carolinas in the 1500s and participated in the 1622 attack on Jamestown. Keep in mind that the names given to the Rickahawkins came from the early English explorers who spoke Elizabethan or later Jacobean English. The first English dictionary was published by Samuel Johnson in 1604. It took at least a century or more for this dictionary to create a standardized impact on the spelling and pronunciation of English words by well-educated English speakers, and 2 centuries and significantly affect the illiterate majority. In 1800, about 40% of the men and women in Great Britain were literate. This percentage dropped to about 20% by 1870. Weste or Westo could possibly be interpreted as a Muskogee Creek word. If so, it would have been Uste, which means water people. That makes sense if the Rickahawkins arrived in the New World by boat, or if they were associated with canoes for traveling or trading along the ocean's edge or along the coast. However, Muskogee Creek cannot translate the other versions of the Rickahawkin place name. There is, however, one language that translates all of these words, early medieval Scandinavian. Until around 1250 AD, the people of the Scandinavian countries, plus their colonies in Greenland, Iceland, Ireland, and Scotland, spoke minor dialects of the same language. It is well known that the Greenland colonies were abandoned between 1315 and the 1500 AD. However, there are other possibilities. The original A History of Georgia from its discovery, 1847, by William Bacon Stephen, states that in its opening chapter that around 1160 to 1180 AD, the Scandinavian and Gaelic Christians in Ireland and Scotland were persecuted for their early Christian church beliefs and were given a choice to either converting to Roman Catholicism, death, or fleeing. Stephen cited the monastic journals from monasteries in France and Ireland. They stated that the religious refugees fled to Whitman's Island or Whitman's-land across the Atlantic in the ocean-going sailing ships of Scandinavians, and the Gaels settled near the mouth of the Savannah River, while the Scandinavians settled farther north. Bacon further stated that when the first settlers arrived on the coast of southern South Carolina and Georgia, they encountered tribes of Indians with somewhat lighter complexion. So notice how they're just saying somewhat lighter, who spoke a predominantly Gaelic language, but their lifestyles were a little different than other Indians, and they were associated with the Creek Indians. No professional archaeologists have sought to prove or disprove Bacon's statements. So
I think that is deep kind of off what we showed people earlier, dealing with the mountain range of the Appalachian. What do you think, Nan? That's interesting. This is
definitely along that whole range. It definitely correlates with the rest.
That last paragraph where it says, so we assume that the Rickahawkins were descendants of Scandinavians who intermarried with Indigenous Americans for several centuries. Here's our interpretation of Rickahawkin place names. Like, come on, man. You know what I mean? Look at the mound. Hogan, which means King's Mound or Kingdom High. Which means nobleman or nobility. Westable, which means West Living Place. That's an Indian group, they would say, right? Like Vinland, which means grass land up. That's interesting, right? I'm glad you're showing these people this because they got to go do their research about that range. What they gonna say to us about this Rickahawkin or Amorgarickakans situation and the lineages that are tied to it? I want to know. Because it's spooky out here, with some of these people saying. However the case, the crates, which means the records, are showing other things what people might in current daytime, because of them being disenfranchised, might just say, even though that might not be the truth or the case of the matter. But still, for the record, it's some stuff that people got to really, if you're into the history of your people, the culture of your people, this information is there. So yeah, Nine, man, is there anything else you got before we let Nine slide on us? I know Nine's had some shit too tied to what I presented tonight with this Amorgarickakans thing. Tecumseh,
I mean,
is there anything
I
else
got
real
other
quick you
stuff,
want to throw?
but yeah, he can go ahead. If I have something else that come up in the conversation, I'll pull it up. I don't want to take, you know what I'm saying, the whole.
Is there something? I mean, I'm giving you if you want to slide on something else, you know what I'm talking about? Nine.
The only other thing I may have wanted to touch on, and I can kind of bring this up to alley-oop it to the El Negro thing, is the connection of the Templars in that area specifically. And before I go into this, for anybody who is like of the Micmac culture tribe, I'm not bringing this correlation up to be like disrespectful. It's just an interesting correlation that could be there. But the Micmac have a legend of a person that they consider like a god-like being that they call Glutskap. Now, a lot of people kind of make a correlation between this person Glutskap and somebody named Henry Sinclair. I'm trying to get the link pulled up here that I sent in a telegram earlier about Glutskap. But the point that I wanted to bring primarily out of that is that the way they viewed him as an actual human being, and they gave him all of these godly like attributes. But specifically, they were saying that he was known to live in Nova Scotia. When you look at the story of Henry Sinclair and how they connected Templars to America, they typically connect them to Newfoundland or Newfoundland and Nova Scotia. Nova Scotia, basically Nova New Scotia, Scotland, essentially. When you look at Henry Sinclair, he was a noble Scottishman who was a Templar, who lived simultaneously during the time of these Scandinavian people that we call Vikings, because a Viking isn't a nation of people. It's like a general term, like a pirate, or, you know what I'm saying? So essentially what you could view from that whole story is that the Micmac documents these groups of people coming over there and teaching them certain things. And you can even see this influence in their flag. Let me pull up the flag real quick.
That's interesting, too. I'm glad you put that out there, too, for the folk to catch, because the Micmac, you know what I mean? Not because I'm Mac, but, that part. Yeah. That part.
I'm trying to find the
Shout out my man Mick, you heard me, Cole? From back in the day. We used to call it in college back in the day, fam. You'd be like, Mick Mac. You know what I mean? My nigga Mick, it was Mac. You know, as if he was walking out in real time. I ain't telling no lies. The Mick Mac combo, huh? Is that the link you're talking about, the Glutskap?
Yep.
All right, there we go.
So let me just show their flag real quick. Or I'll read it, or I can read this and then show the flag. Is that the part that I want? Because this is a long thing. I just want the part where I'm trying to see if he says it in the beginning about Nova Scotia.
We got it on the screen.
Okay, there you go. Boom. That's actually the perfect part right there.
Got you, man. We playing basketball. We passing the ball around. We got you. Yeah. Go ahead. It's on you.
All right. The Glutskap stories were used to teach values, traditions, and ways of life, considering that the cultures of the Wabanaki were contained in language and tradition. The Glutskap stories were likely prevalent in their everyday lives, but whereas oral history was true to their existence, that history was not recorded as Europeans record their own history. Rather, oral histories were told and kept alive in communities. The first typographical recorded stories of Glooskap are most likely those of Reverend Silas Tetrius Rand, a missionary among the Micmac Indians of Nova Scotia for 40 years. In the years he spent with the First Nations of Nova Scotia, New Brunswick, essentially what I'm just trying, because I don't want to go through this whole thing. I'm just trying to show that, and this isn't actually the part that I wanted. Is a part that just says they knew him to stay in Nova Scotia.
Okay.
But it is really not that deep. Anybody who's familiar with the legend, or you can look it up on their own time. He was known as a man who lived in the area of Nova Scotia. So it's just an interesting correlation there. Plus, matter of fact, can you see what I have on in my end right now? The Micmac flag.
You took it down. He took it down. Okay, there you go.
So when you look at that, like straight up, the red cross on the white background with the star and the moon, the colors, the symbology, this is something pure out of a Masonic Templar handbook. So
yeah, I like how you landed with that. They want to do their research, that's all. You just present the information. It's just a campaign. It's a marathon with this type of shit. So morality to y'all. Make your right decisions and apply them to yourselves. This information right here, though, that is an interesting flag for a Micmac to have. You know what I mean? I don't think that anybody would say that the Micmac, based off the Aboriginal joints that I've seen, dealing with the title of land in Canada, would say that the Micmac are from somewhere else. You know what I mean? No matter what we might show, they're on the record, they're Aboriginal to Canada. For those who might not know, Nova Scotia and all them areas, right? So either way, though, if you, I'm gonna let Nine come on. I know Nine been patient because I know Nine got something because we've been doing the El Negro series, y'all, and some of them joints done went digital. We appreciate y'all for tapping in to the series. You know what I mean? And you got to go back and watch all them joints because Nine has been really like a genealogical wizard with this El Negro since we came across Yaya El Negro when we started the series, right? So when we brought it to y'all, because we were like, yo, you know, we shout out to Open Miha, we do genealogy, right? Just on our own time, we're dealing with our own ancestors and stuff. But then when it comes down to actually dealing with, you know, this historical thing, we're like, hold up, this person's related to this person though. And then hold up, this person's doing this. So we're like, you know what? And Nine, I think, did a great job with the El Negro series of doing that. I think we got, well, I don't know how many we got right now, even in the chamber. Nine, we just start kicking them out. I'm gonna let Nine go ahead and speak on it because so much stuff we got going on. So shout out to Nine. Tecumseh said we'll be right back to you. Let Nine give us what he got on this and tap in with us. What you think?
You can see my screen?
Did you put it up yet?
Yeah, I pulled it up.
I bet money, we got you.
You can see it?
Yeah. Oh, I knew you was gonna come with something. Go ahead.
Okay, I'm going with just to show that they had the capabilities to do what we suggesting they did long ago. And the title Mar, as you said, was great. It was also an oral traditional holder of sorts of the Talmudic Amora people, or the Jewish Amoras. And I'm going to go with Mar Samuel the astrologer, Mar Samuel of Nehardia, or Samuel Bar Abba, often simply called Samuel and occasionally Mar Rab Samuel, was a Jewish Amora of the first generation, son of Abba Bar Abba and head of the Sheba school in Nehardia, Babylon. He was a teacher of the Halakha, judge, physician, and astronomer. He was born about 165 CE at Nehardia and died there in 254 CE. In the Talmud, Samuel is frequently associated with Abba Arakar Rav, with whom he debated on many issues. Apart from his greatness in Torah, Samuel was also famous for his wisdom and knowledge of astronomy and medicine. He was called Samuel Yachinio, or Noe, Samuel the astrologer. He himself once claimed the paths of the heavens are as familiar to me as the streets of Nehardia. Mar Samuel was very sought after his astrological expertise and was befriended by the great Persian king Shuv Maklak and the king's most covenant astrologer Ablat, who was in charge of the Persian fleet of ships and navigators. Mar Samuel transcribed the Taurus constellation for the Amorium and studied all the ancient Judaic charts. Now, he is not an Exilarch. This particular Mar is not in the Exilarch line. He's in the priesthood line. But Josephus also spoke about some of those charts and those people he was drawing on. And Josephus wrote in the Jewish Wars, he wrote that they also built themselves a great many piratical ships and turned pirates upon the seas near Syria, Phoenicia, Egypt, and made those seas unnavigable to all men. Basically letting them know that they had full control of the seas. And Josephus is 1st century, so he's speaking on anything before him, which Mar Samuel drew on. Now, Mar Samuel's actual Talmud and his writings were passed to the Majorcan cartography school of Spain and Portugal, which is up next. And this term is coined by the historians to refer to the collection of predominantly Jewish cartographers, cosmographers, and navigational instruments makers and some Christian associates that flourished in Majorca in the 13th, 14th, 15th century until the expulsion of the Jews. The label is usually inclusive of those who worked in Catalonia. The Majorca school is frequently contrasted with the contemporary Italian cartography school. And I'm just showing you that Abraham Crespi drew on 2 of Mar's earlier cartographies, and when he made the Catalan Atlas that was made in 1375, showing the water routes that we see on screen. Now, these are some notable Exilarchs. The top Exilarch, Mar Akban III, he's a direct descendant of Yahya el Negro. Call him a predecessor of Yahya el Negro. And his family, which was the Kahanas, they were all Exilarchs. So just to show that the title Mar was under the Exilarch's reign, Mar Akban III was an Exilarch reigning from 337 CE. He was son of Nehemiah. Mar Kahana I, son of Abba, he also had something to do with one of the earliest forms of an astrolabe, but it wasn't an astrolabe. But it was basically considered one of the earlier forms of the navigational tools. Mar Zutra 1, 2, and 3, they're all family. They're part of the House of Castro and not the House of David like Mar Akban. So I just want to hit those Mars real quick, and I'm going to give you this last bitch, which is the Amorgarickakans tribe of New York. In the 1650s, Barrett Cornelius Vogue operated a sawmill on the Sawyer's Kill, supplying lumber for a manor of Rensselaers. I don't know how to say that. I'll butcher it. Y'all can get it. He had security.
I'm gonna try. Hold on. Let me see what it says. It says
Rensselaers. You might have got it.
I tried it.
Rensselaers. I'm gonna call him Renssel.
Rensselaerswick.
Okay, he said it best. Tecumseh. You got that. You won that shit.
Rensselaerswick. We're gonna run with that. The manor of Rensselaerswick. He had secured a title from the Esopus or Esopak sachem to his land sometime before 1663. Vogue likely left the area at the outbreak of the First Esopus War of 1658. The footpath to Albany, meaning Albany, New York, was not laid out until 1670. In April of 1677, Governor Edmund Andros purchased land from the chief Kelkop, chief of the You can say that
Amorgarickakan.
Amara-Garan tribe for the price of a piece of cloth, a blanket, some quartz fiber, a loaf of bread, and a shirt. You notice how they always have us selling things in New York for nothing. But I'm going to let that go. I'm going to let that go. The Shinnecock sold Manhattan. He just sold Albany. And Coconseco, the Coconseco tribe sold most of White Plains, New York for trinkets. Yeah.
Oh, man, bruh.
You go with that, but we're going to leave that alone.
Dirty bastards.
I'm going to skip the first part of this because we read that it was just the same chief. But the second part I wanted to highlight, and this is from NewYorkState.gov. It says, whereas the first settlers were Dutch in its early days, the Socrates, no, you say that. What's Tecumseh?
Socrates.
That sounds like Socrates. Socrates area was a major supplier of grain. Early Dutch settlers established mills, including Barrett, Cornelius Vogel, the Little Sawyer, and gave Socrates its name. Whereas the population got a boost in 1710 when a group of German refugees from the war-torn Rhineland, Palatine Boers region near the French border settled in the West Camp after seeking refuge in England. The Palatines were dispatched to the Hudson Valley on an economic mission, and whereas having swelled in population since the original Dutch and German settlers took up residence, Socrates petitioned the state for self-governance, which was granted on April of 1811. The Morricon history in New York has been lost due to assimilation of most of New York's tribes during the Iroquois Wars. Say that again.
Amorgarickakan.
Amorgarickakans. I gotta get that.
You got it. You said it right. You hit it. You just hit it, bro.
Amorgarickan that survived moved up north to Maine and compromised the Muskogee, the Ambrose Kogan, the Amariskogan, the Amariskomun people, who were also wiped out by the 18th century. And this is Sir Edmund Andros. And it's a weird thing about this dude. His generation in genealogy.com and ancestry and pedigrees only go 5 generations. But if you notice his name, Andros, you see this Ambrose up here and his Kolskin. It's like they took this name and he might have a different name now. Andros is also Andrews, but there's no Sir Edmund Andrews around that time in the records. But he could be a hijacker or someone implanted in, but he was the governor of New York, New Jersey, and at one point he had control of Virginia and Maryland. So he later served as governor of Virginia in 1692, Maryland in 1693, New Jersey in 1680, and New York in 1678. So he was all up and down the east and west coast, and he's just a person, a character that I'm going to dig into because he's the one that supposedly had the Amorgarickakans sell their land, but for trinkets. But we're going to leave it at that.
You know,
yes.
Hey man, where does source come from? Where you got this from right here? Where you got this one here from?
I got this one, the one you're looking at from NewYorkSenate.gov. This whole part right here is NewYorkSenate.gov. The other one is New York. Where's it at? It's a Masonic site. Matter of fact, let me look right here. I still got it up. You can see it now, or it's the same screen?
I mean, I'm looking at the same joint personally.
All right, hold on.
Yeah, that right there, that was interesting.
Go along with that too, and there's actually a source that you cited earlier, Mac, from the book Henry Hudson and Algonquins. It was from something you read. It go right along with what you just said too, Ari, about Kel Coptel being in New York, the Amorgarickakan. I'll read it real quick. Well, actually, no. Go ahead and finish. I'll read
Hold
it
on.
when you.
This is the last part. I just wanted to show it. You can see it now?
Hold on. We're good to go.
That's where the rest. This is where the rest of it came from. The Grand Lodge.
Oh.
You just wanted the source.
Yeah, it's what the source, like where you got that from, like, you know, dealing with the Amorgarickakan. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh yeah. They got it right up in there. So
I just wanted to make sure you showed that for folk. You know what I mean? Everything we cap it or something. You know, we got to make sure if we capping, they capping.
It's down here. I'm gonna highlight it for them. Amara-Garan tribe. For the price of cloths, blankets, some coarse fiber, and a loaf of bread and a t-shirt. Like I said earlier. So I just put two sources together. One is NewYorkState.gov. The other one is nymasons.org. This
part. Yeah, we capping, they capping. So it's cool. All right.
Is it ironic that that's Ulster County?
Yes.
Ulster? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
You think it's ironic?
I mean, it's not. I don't believe in coincidence.
Yeah, I don't think that's ironic that it's Ulster County.
And that's the oldest jail in New York.
Hebrews that were in Scotland.
Ulster. Gaelic.
One of the oldest prisons in New York, and it's in fact, it's registration. When you get locked up, you have to go through Ulster. If you have less than 10 years, you must go through Ulster County Correctional Facility.
We're gonna have to do a part 2 to this one. I already see where this can go. This you had something you said alley-oop off the top of what 9 just did. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I'll read it real quick.
Yeah. I'm gonna throw them a couple last joints. We're gonna let them hold on the rest of it. They're gonna have to marinate on this one and really absorb it type shit. You know what I mean? Because it's a lot of stuff. Yeah, for them to really go look at. You know what I mean? Carolina Genesis.
Oh, how you zoom this shit down?
I ain't gonna really go harder like that. We're gonna let them hold that real quick. You heard?
Can y'all see? Can y'all see this?
Yeah, I can see it.
What you got? Yeah.
You gotta bring it a little bigger, but I can. We can definitely see it.
All right, I'll just read this paragraph. And this is from the book, once again, Henry Hudson, The Algonquins of New York. The Amorgarickakan family may have been mentioned in the Rombout patent of 1683, when Sacragahai, a high chief, possibly Kelkopdal himself, signed for himself and in the name of Megriskin. Presumably, Amorgarickakan, along with Wappinger's chief One-Shake, father of Chief Daniel Ninham, the name of Maringoman, for an example, whose castle is said to have stood near today's Blooming Grove, New York, possibly at the foot of Shunnamunk Mountain, may be yet another version of Amorgarickakan. Dr. Johnson suggests it may be wordplay or conflation of the word meaning dark of skin from Marano or Morisco. That's all.
Maroon shit, you heard me? Yeah.
Maroon
I got
shit.
something. Hey, look, I'm
Dark
gonna do a
skin.
fast break. I'm gonna do a fast break. You brought that and before I threw the sources, because everything what both y'all just said, I'm gonna come back to the Carolina Genesis, and I'm gonna show you how, because I didn't read this part, and I'm glad you said that, because I was gonna read the whole thing, but I'm gonna go to page 66. No. I'm gonna make sure I give y'all the page with where I know where I start at. I'm going into the 67, going into. I'm gonna start here. 68. It says, given that the Mercator world map was drawn at the same time that the Inquisition reached northern Mexico, it was plausible that Junco Reed family of Sephardic and indigenous Chicomecan origin either was forcibly removed from Mexico or sought asylum in the Mexican Inquisition of the Mohegan Michichan territory around that time, especially when considering a Spanish presence in the area as indicated by the Spanish place names of the Mercator map. The second scenario, expulsion rather than flight, offers the most logical explanation of the Junco family's presence among the Mohegan perhaps as early as 1569. In 1676, after Holland, perhaps as early as 1569. This is in 1676. I'm sorry. Yeah, I read that back wrong. In the presence among Mohegan, perhaps as early as 1569. In 1676, after Holland transferred the region to England, English colonists considered dark-skinned Moors and dark-skinned natives of New England to be indistinguishable. According to David Matt Ritchie, in the Ancient Modern Britons in 1681, the Indians of New England, or Moors, as they were called by the English, were described by the Quaker William Penn to be as black as gypsies. Native and gypsy / Sephardic / Marano miscegnation took place earlier on, resulting from the Spanish trade and slavery. MacRitchie further reiterated in a footnote that the gypsies of this time period were virtually the blackamoors. English settlers who later colonized the western shores of the Atlantic Ocean described the local Indians to be as black as gypsies. In actuality, their complexions range from golden hue to the deep bronze. Many of the Indians, however, darkened their already swarthy complexions by applying bear oils as a repellent against mosquitoes and other insects. Writer Edmund W. Goose reported that by the mid-1700s, large bands of Moors, parentheses, black-skinned people, roamed up and down the area, taking liberties from the local farms that were once the plantations and lands of local indigenous native people of New England. These native people and their allied Chichimecan Moors, Ladino, Chichimecan in parentheses, embodied the Amorgarickakans ancestry, were despised by the English colonial invaders who encroached upon their lands. The Amora family appears as the Amorgarickakan in the historical annals of the northeastern American Indian land transactions, and hereditary envoys among the various tribes, clans, and families. The name transition from Amora to Junco, and finally to Reed. Shout out to my Reed, Uncle Reed, what up? Represented the Christianization and Anglicizing of the family as part of a Morano, Amorgarickakan diaspora found among the Espos. Didn't y'all say that word earlier? ESOPUS? Yeah, you said that earlier, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
That's the name that they went from to, and they had some Lenape too up in there that was taking control of that.
Right after that, it says Matoic, Niantic, Mohegan, Pequot, Mohican, Montauk, and the Wapaneer Indians. This movement manifested my family presence formally as the Amorgarickakan in New York as well as in New England, as the native and the tribal conglomerates and compelled to expand into the South, specifically South Carolina, as free people of color to escape the colonial ethnocide in the North. I'm going to land up on the book. We can pull up a source, though, because it talked about Carolina and Carolina Genesis, Amorgarickakan. It's my route to this term. I've had this term in my mind, you know what I mean? But, you know, I thought after the show, shout out to, again, to the Yamasee, Muskogee Creek Nation, Allisdale, South Carolina, Sekou and his family that did what they did. Shout out to all the other Yamasee that I do know, too, in different ways they might, you know, describe themselves that I know, too. You know what I mean? The Wale. Shout out to Tavis Sanders and them. You know what I mean? All the folk that's in that area that got ancestry to the Carolinas. Shout out to the Lumbee, you know what I mean, the Tuscarora. You know, shout out to the, you know what I mean, the Geechee. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's a lot of different things we can go into. Names like Uchi. You know what I mean? Obviously the Muskogee. That's got a Muskogee. Give me a link real quick, bro. You know what I'm saying? Because we've been marooned in our own land. Appalachian people. We've been marooned in our own side of it. Give me the Carolina joint real quick. Because it's dealing with the Carolina Genesis. So I'm going to give you the source for the Carolina. I'm going to land on these three. We're going to slide on y'all. I appreciate y'all for pulling up on us tonight and this dialogue and stuff, you know what I mean, of the Amorgarickakan term. You know what I mean? I hope that ice done melted. It's so hot in here. Yeah. Just need a little bit. Again, so shout out to the Yamasee last week that pulled up. But I want to show it how it shows it. Carolina, the Native Americans. I don't know. I've been hearing a lot of people say, you know, the Native Americans is the Mongolians. I put like, what you mean? What you mean? What you mean? Either way, though, the meaning of the name Yamasee is unknown, but we just broke it down for you. Though it has been interpreted. See, we just use that word. Akan means interpreted in the beginning. See, I'm bringing you back around. By the Muskogee, Yamasee. You see, gentle. Shout out to Sekou. A form given in some early writings, Yamakran, Tumukwa, and then the Muskegean tongues. You see the Yamasee towns, chief names indicate plainly that some spoke a Muskegean dialect, and traditions affirms that it was connected most commonly to it, the Hitichi, a contention which may be considered probable. So, it goes in, I want to just show, we're going to go to St. Augustine. Look, see how I say St. Augustine? Funny enough, as I get to the St. Augustine in this link, in that one part right there, stand right there. Let St. Augustine stand right there, where it says they fled to St. Augustine, right? So the thing is funny about St. Augustine, and most people, as you see right underneath where it says, immediately before the outbreak of the Yamasee War, 1715, 1716, you know what I mean? And they're following, and we'll give you the towns of the South Carolina territories right underneath that, right? You got the lower towns, Altamaha, and all them joints underneath that right there. But when I come back up to the St. Augustine, because that's dealing with the oldest town in what we call United States of America, North America, you know what I'm saying, Augustine, and it's dealing with the term El Nombre de Dios Amacaris, which is dealing with that term Amorgarickakans. So when we think about the fact that, in Panama, they were all the way, when I read it earlier, it says 19 tribes that are contributed from the north to the South America, Central, North, South, Central America, and that we got from El Nombre de Dios Amacaris being in Panama, prior to it being located in the oldest town in America, St. Augustine, on this list, right? And they're telling you that these people were scattered, meaning the different groups of people who are mixing amongst the Aboriginal groups of people when they come over here and make these settlements, meaning the Catholic Papa Bull side of things, and setting up these terms dealing with the El Nombre de Dios Amacaris, the Tumukwa, another term you just seen us read right there. The Tumukwa were actually the ones in St. Augustine that they were called or labeled a Yamasee speaking group of people with the language based in with the Hitichi, if you didn't know that. So at the end of the day, let's lay that out real quick, and we can move to the next one. So I just want to make sure that Carolina, get its justice. This is their site. I ain't make that up, but it's tied to this. So if you didn't know, I just try to give you an interpretation, a more Amorgarickan style. You feel me? Being that's what the term mean, beloved. Don't hate on your beloved interpreters in the 21st century. You dig? That's Lucio Macario. Don't get mad at me. All right? There's nothing but love over here, beloved. You know what I'm saying? That's the Lucy. And absolutely, absolutely. That's what it is. Hitichi. Just to get that, make sure that lands, right? Where a Muskegean speaking tribe formerly residing chiefly in the town are the same name as the east bank of the Chattahoochee River, 4 miles below Chahia in the West Georgia. They spoke the Hitichi language, which was mutually intelligible with the Suki now. And both tribes were part of the Loose Creek Confederacy. The latter language is spoken by the Miskasuki tribe in Florida. That's where I'm at, actually where I'm heading this afternoon, to Miskasuki territory, as well as Seminole. And the U.S. Indian agent Benjamin Hawkins visited the Hitichis in 1799 and recorded that they spread into branch settlements. The Hitichi, see this right here, you're funny. Hitichi Odusi or the Hudichi or Little Hitichi lived on both sides of the Flint River, below the junction of the I can't see the whole thing. Bring over a little bit so everybody can see it. The Kishafoni Creek, which passed through a county once named after it. You know what I'm saying? And the Tatalusi, lived in a branch of the Kinachofuni Creek, 20 miles west of the Hitichi Adushi. You know what I mean? And this is all dealing with that right there, right? So all this is dealing with the language and the Hitichi Indian joint, right? It's the Hitichi Indian website, right? Right. So they give me just a little bit. Shout out to all the folk down here in my territory, Miccosukee, which we like to say, really to give honor to the ancestors, Tequesta, Tequista, you know what I mean? But now today is Miccosukee and Seminole territory where I'm at right now. feel me, that we considered Miami, Broward County, and West Palm Beaches. But at the same time, Georgia and all that, 'cause I got folk from up there, my people on my father's side, out of Seminole County, Georgia. And all of I got folk right now, currently on my aunties and them, that's in Brunswick, Georgia as well. Huh. Funny enough, that word Brunswick was shown earlier too, with the Amorgarickakan. You know what I mean? But now, give me the Muskogee joint, and we basically ready, Blaze. We're gonna be ready for in a minute. You know what I'm saying? We ain't gonna hold them. We're gonna do a part 2. There's more information on this. It's a Lucy Trail we're gonna bring to you. You heard me? Absolutely. Muskogee. Shout out to Muskogee Maroons, you heard? Shout out to all my American Maroons out there at Lucy Amakaria, you heard? Creek Indians were also known as Muskogee Creek. The Creek Indians are one of the 5 civilized tribes: Creek, Cherokee, Chickasaw, Choctaw, and Seminole. Cultural area in Southeast United States. Linguistic group, Muskogee. Fairly status, you see it says recognize, it's showing you clans, you see the names. You know what I mean? Come down a little. I wanted to really get to this other part though. Show you the languages. Come down a little bit more. I want you to see that part right there. I want them, this is where I came from, right on this page, right here. They let you know they know they're federally recognized, right? I can pull up the Appalachia Research Joint. They're going to tell you some stuff correlating to this too. And it's the question for those who say they got Creek, Muskogee lineage, you know what I mean, based off this Amorgarickakan breakdown we just gave you, and were they dark-skinned people or not, right? Being that all this hype go about were there dark-skinned people here before the Spanish got here in 1492? And the answer is hell yeah. Now with the mixtures and everything, that's a whole other thing that people got to go through with their genealogies and shit, right? But when it comes down to me just really being honest about who if dark-skinned people were her, shit, if you think not, then you just need to go catch up on your history. You know what I'm saying? Now they suppose, and we showed you earlier, that the people they were labeling Negro with Blackamoors and Moors that were early her, that they ran into were indigenous her, but at the same time they were like they suppose that they might have came from out of Africa, right? But that's not the case. Point. Aboriginal people, First Nation people, they're federally recognized today using these terms. At the end of the day, we know the history and the lineage that goes to the dark-skinned folks that have been exiled because of their particular certain lineage mixtures that's in their situation. Then with black codes and certain things with the word, like Martin Luther King said, exiled on your own land. Yeah, that part right there. So listen, this. Funny enough, just to put that out there. As a Maroon, you know, I would do that. I got to do it like that. It's my heart to do it like that, right? Muskogee. This is relatively new term that first appeared in the late 1740s during the reign of High King Malatichi. Its meaning is not obvious because Masko, M-A-S-K-O, is not in the Muskogee Creek dictionary. It is possibly was derived from the Ladino, parentheses, Spanish Sephardic, verb meaning to mix. Malatichi was probably the son or grandson of a Jewish trader, a Marano, because he had a Hebrew name. Muskogee was coined to give a name to the members of the Creek Confederacy who really spoke several languages and dialects. However, until the late 1780s, the Itza Hitichi was spoken by more people in Georgia than either English or Muskogee. The Muskogee language was really derived from the dialect spoken by a militarily powerful minority in the 1717 Creek Confederacy, which happened to come around right after the 1715 Yamasee War. Present day time in the 1700s, the mixture of people that able, got absorbed into what we call today, properly, the Creek Confederacy, which is really in 1790 would be the Muskogee Confederacy that Alexander McGivery signed with George Washington in 1790 to give them access after the American Revolutionary War to have access to the territories where these groups of people of Amorgarickakans descendancy are living. Excuse me. But I'm gonna land on that right there though. I ain't gonna you take it down, God Green. Shout out to everybody that's pulled up on us tonight. Cause I ain't gonna rush anything else on it right there. You heard me? Yeah, you know, I ain't gonna that's really all I got for you really on this for the first one. Cause I feel like we go too deep. It's like we're gonna mix the dope. You know what I mean? I want to show this first, just give it a layout so you can see the sources. You know what I mean? If you didn't know that. Cause that last week, shout out again to Yamasee. And people be trying to, you know, I hear all the beef going on about dark skin, indigenous shit, you know, me and that I have that in my lineage, but I don't really cap about the mixture. You know what I'm saying? That's the loose. I don't cap about it. At the same time, though, I know why we've been discriminated, you know what I mean, because of the Negro War and Drop Rule, you heard? And we found all the sources to back that up with what I'm telling you at the same time. So we ain't really rocking with nothing else at the Autonomous Party. We just know what we know how to find with our do your genealogy, find your mixture, know that you ain't what you've been exiled from, you know what I mean, disenfranchised from, restore yourself. The time is to speak into your tree of life and tap in, you know what I'm saying? And move accordingly in the time frame we living in, you know what I'm saying? That's the loose. Absolutely. You heard? Non-ether. Tecumseh, man, before we get out of this, anything you want to say? I got something for you. Matter of fact, Tecumseh, I'm going to hit you first because, you know what I mean, I appreciate you and what you've been doing with the dialogue series. And I know you got something coming. Is anything you want? What's the next one, real quick, for the folk? Let the folk know. You've been dropping that dialogue series that's on our channel, the Autonomous Party Network, that we've been doing. You know what I mean? I want you to give some people just in case they forgot. You know what I mean? I know you got some shit coming. So, and then 9 can slide after you get out of here.
Yeah, the next one that we're doing gonna be a build on the divine trust. It's a little off from what we're doing, but not necessarily going into like a breakdown of explaining ecclesiastical situations and how it's rooted in like biblical literature and showing how, you know, essentially the Bible and the beginning, Genesis 1 and 2, is essentially a trust. And it's the formation and the shell of how you establish your trust. So we're gonna be touching on that for the most part.
Tap in with it. I know when you do it, that high production coming with it. So I want people to tap in with it. The dialogue series is to be continued. You heard me? So, you know what I mean? Tap in with us. The party. Yeah. Okay. 9. Before we slide, man. Appreciate 9 from the party pulling up on us out of that New York, that what they call Algerian territory.
Algerian territory.
It was over that Northeast Appalachian
Northeast
territory.
Appalachia. Look out for us. We're gonna do the pirates, the Black Pirates of the Caribbean next. That's in a couple of weeks. When's that?
15th, October 15th.
October 15th, we coming with the Black Pirates of the Caribbean, and it's just gonna show those Negro pirates operating in the 1600s early at the same time of this. It's going to clash into the 1619 project, so look out for that.
Real talk. That's what I'm talking about. We got shit coming now. Obviously next week, Aboriginal Wall Street, first of the month. You know what I mean? Now I got Master Ether. He got something for us. Shout out to him. I don't know, Sab. You gonna let me know if he got something. We got a couple of people that we trying to work out some things, but they got something they gonna let them slide. Shout out to Bria. We're gonna really try to do a little preview of the Aboriginal Wall Street trivia next week too. So shout out to her. We got some stuff she been doing. Shout out to her this week, doing it on fan base for the first time. Aboriginal Wall Street. You already know what it is. Yeah. What else we popping with, man? Outside of that, man. Yeah. Oh yeah. Shout out to Monte on the 8th. He got something. He gonna drop a bomb on y'all on the 8th. But I'm gonna let him wait and tell me how he want me to give it to y'all. Shout out to Monte on the 8th, you know what I mean? And matter of fact, on Halloween, I can tell you this now, already what's coming. You're gonna have to go back and check the crates on this channel right here, the AutonomousParty.com, or our YouTube channel network. Yeah. Bohemian Grove Part 2. It's been a minute. Feel me? It's been a minute, right? But I gave you a fair warning ahead of time, 3 years ago, technically almost. And we did Bohemian Grove on Halloween. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna do Part 2 on this year's joint because we celebrating, you know what I'm saying, on some Grand Mar shit. You see, I got bottles, that Grand Mar in it. You see that Mar in there? You see that Grand Mar with that stamp? Yeah. Some French joint, you hear me? 1827. You know what they said about America in 1827, right? who the Americans look like, right? It look like this color of this bottle. Grandma, you heard? Tap in with me. It's gonna be a problem, you heard me, in Halloween time frame. Ain't no spooky shit allowed, but we coming. You know what I mean? Maranatha. Blaze, appreciate everybody that tapped in with us tonight. Tecumseh, 9 Ether. You already know what it is. Each and every Sunday right here, 8 to 11. Campaign mix again. This week we working on it, the glitches. We're going to get you the Mixcloud link on the website. So if you want to come early and vibe to the music on that channel, because we're going to be able to play a lot more of our mix the way we want to really do it. So we appreciate us tapping in and want to navigate with us, how we do it, but we're going to navigate it. The podcast will be live on the YouTube channel in the first probably 45 minutes of the campaign mix. Will be live on Mixcloud. You heard me? And the link will be available for next week Sunday. And so when we blast it out, we'll remind you. We appreciate you for tapping in with us. Till next week. Aboriginal Wall Street, October.
Blaze, take us away. Shout out to God of Green in the background.
Yeah, shout out to God of Green, Baron P. I mean, they be here, they'll be, you know what I'm saying? But they here though.
No, they here. You gotta give shout out to production.
Yeah. Tig. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nobody running up on us. We Maroons over here. We ain't playing them games. What you thought this was? Let me stop playing. But I ain't playing. I'm serious though. Blaze, till next week. Appreciate y'all.
Peace, y'all. Peace.
Honor.
Yeah, you listening to Super Blaze. Let's go.
Just get him out. Ever since a youngin', I've been running, getting to the kick. Dog, you ain't 100, this 100. Let me demonstrate. If she ain't got brains, then I ain't tryna penetrate. And if you ain't a stand-up needy, you could get your dinner ate. I ain't buying all that real shit. Dog, you benefit. Took on a dinner date. Now we on the interstate. Might be a rookie in the game, but I've been integrating. We about autonomy, dog. We ain't tryna integrate. Bang, bang, bang. DJ Super Blaze. Ever since a youngin', I've been running, getting to the kick. Dog, you ain't 100, this 100. Let me demonstrate. If she ain't got brains, then I ain't tryna penetrate. And if you ain't a stand-up needy, you could get your dinner ate. I ain't buying all that real shit. Dog, you benefit. Took on a dinner date. Now we on the interstate. Might be a rookie in the game, but I've been integrating. We about autonomy, dog. We ain't tryna integrate.
Yeah.
Man,
we ain't trying to integrate.
Was broke back then, now the youngest seeing different kick. We don't go off feelings, we just make.
You know what it is, man. Job breaks.
And if you ain't
on the outro,
you can't get a penetrate. Local need you. Now
Super Blaze, you know what it is, man. Check it with me on Instagram, DJ Super Blaze. You know what it is.
Then you can't relate. Preach the niggas. I'm just
got them fire stories every day. You know what it is, man.
Woke nigga in the world trying to keep awake. Man, I'm just trying to keep
one time for 9. Shout out to 9
City Jam
with the ether. You know what it is.
Another black
Tecumseh.
Make it make sense when the system got y'all niggas going.
Got them bills every day. You know what it is.
Ever since a youngin', I've been running, getting to the kick. Dog, you ain't 100. This
I'm trying to get with this fan base thing though, real quick.
You ain't got brains, then I ain't trying to penetrate. And if you ain't a stand-up needy, you could get your dinner ate.
Get your food ate right out your plate, boy.
Just get 'em out.
You know what it is, man. Tap in next week, same time, same place.
Ever since a youngin', I've been running.
Don't forget
to the kick. Dog, you
we're gonna be on Mixcloud early.
If she
8 o'clock.
Brains, then I ain't
sharper than the time.
And if you ain't a stand-up needy, you could get your dinner ate. I ain't
about 8:30 or so.
Shit, dog, you benefit to go on a dinner date. Now we on the interstate.
Some different kind of fire. You know what it is, man.
Game, but I've been integrating.
We out of here. Peace.
Ain't trying to integrate.
Till next time.
Man, we ain't trying to integrate. Was broke back then, now the youngest seeing different kick. We don't go off feelings, we just make sure that the business straight. And if you ain't an intellect, then you can't get a penetrate. Local need you. Now I'm getting love all in different states. Gotta need you. If you ain't got scars, then you can't relate. Preach the niggas. I'm just trying to make sure that my people straight. Woke nigga in a sleep world trying to keep awake. Trying to stay woke. Man, I'm just trying to keep awake. Bodies dropping in my city, damn Perry, keep awake. How another black man, your op, make it make sense when the system got y'all niggas going through the same shit. Ever since a youngin', I've been running, getting to the cake. Dog, you ain't 100, this 100, let me demonstrate. If she ain't got brains, then I ain't tryna penetrate. And if you ain't a stand-up need you could get your dinner ate. I ain't buying all that real shit, dog, you been a fake. Took her on a dinner date, now we on the interstate. Be a rookie in the game, but I've been a great. And we about autonomy, dog, we ain't tryna integrate. Say you shoot, what's your resume? Let me see the proof, drilling shit, where your gang at? Let me see your troops, getting money, pull up stunting on them. Let me see your crew, genocide, they pointing weapons at you. You don't even shoot, real nigga, how you say you real? You don't lay your peach, family man, grind, feed your family, nigga, fuck the streets. Sliding on each other when the government the enemy. If we come together, we got power, nigga, in the beef. For real, nigga, in the beef. You ain't getting money, ain't no reason to be in the streets. Striving to be legends, we ain't trying to be a memory. And now you ain't my nigga, you my Niji Aborigine.
Pardon my autonomy. I know one day they'll honor me.
Yeah, you listen to Super Blade. Let's go.
I'm gonna try to be autonomous, that's all. Pardon me for trying to be autonomous. You know what I'm talking about?
Could take quite a bit of time.
Man, we out of here. Shout out to Maroon J with the fire track. Let's get it.
Pardon my autonomy. I know one day they'll honor me. This ain't pertaining to 28 Deuteronomy. Self-determination, controlling our situation. Ain't no more indoctrination from pale faces. How the fuck you bummy and broke with a pale racist? My lineage free people of color with a left make each nigga. This right here maroon, now it ain't burgundy. If you plot murder, I'm certain that you'll need surgery hurt. From when the burner squeeze, protecting tribe business. Only consulting with governments, tried to tribe with it. Please don't confuse us with those considered native. Semi-autonomy never was in our nature. Just address me as Estelusti. Wild Indian status and Cherokees riding Rugies. In my war bonnet, if you want it, bring it to your region. And black forces the same color the European. Part of my autonomy, I know one day they'll honor me. This ain't pertaining to 28 Deuteronomy. Self-determination, controlling our situation. Ain't no more indoctrination from pale faces.
Aborigines, which means what? Black folks. But you never find a white aborigine. Aborigines are called natives, or they're always dark-skinned people. You and I are aborigines, but you don't have to be called an aborigine.